Hey everyone, I'm Liz Fairy and today I'm going to show you how to make some basic clothes for your crochet dolls. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make sleeves for the jacket that I made in my last video. If you missed my last tutorial, make sure to check it out first, because you'll need the jacket to add the sleeves to. You could also use this technique to add sleeves to the doll shirts that I made in my previous tutorials. Some other things you'll need for this tutorial are a crochet hook. You can use any size you like. I'm going to use a size E. A pair of scissors, a yarn needle to sew in your ends. You'll need bobby pins or stitch markers to keep track of your stitches, and you'll need yarn. I suggest that you use the same yarn weight to make the sleeves that you used to make the jacket itself. In this tutorial, I'll use worsted weight yarn in rose pink from Caron Simply Soft, because that's what I used to make the jacket. But you can use any color you like. If you made your jacket with a lighter yarn, like Loops and Threads will like, you should use the same yarn, but you might want to use a bigger hook like a size G to make your doll's sleeves. And if you'd like a written pattern for this jacket, you can find one in my Ravelry store. The link is in the description below. A few weeks ago, I made a sleeves tutorial for basic sleeves that are worked from bottom to top, and then sewn onto the garment after both are finished. For these sleeves though, I'm going to work them from top to bottom instead, so that I won't need to sew the sleeves onto the garment. This gives the sleeves a cleaner finish and makes the sleeves and the vest look like one continuous piece of fabric. This technique is a little more advanced though, so if you're a beginner, maybe check out my basic sleeves tutorial instead. To start my sleeves, I'm going to find the spot on the jacket where I skipped stitches and made a chain to make the armhole. I'm going to single crochet into those skipped stitches and chains, as well as the 2 stitches that I made on either side of the armhole in the previous video. When I made my armholes, I skipped 6 stitches and chained 4, so I'm going to single crochet into the 6 stitches I skipped at the top of the armhole, then into the first of the single crochet stitches on the side of the armhole, then into the 4 chains I made at the bottom of the armhole. I marked each of these chains to make it easier to work into. And finally, I'll work into the next single crochet stitch on the other side of the armhole for a total of 12 stitches. So I'm going to begin by pulling up a loop into the first of the 6 skipped stitches at the top of the armhole. Then I'm going to chain 1, and that chain is going to count as the first stitch, so I'll mark it with my bobby pin. Now I'm going to single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches at the top. Alright, I've done the first 6 stitches of the row along the top of the armhole. Next I'm going to single crochet into the side of the first stitch I made after skipping the stitches of the armhole. And then I'll single crochet into the 4 marked chains at the bottom, and then single crochet into the side of the last stitch I made before skipping the stitches of the armhole on the other side. And this is going to be the last stitch of the row. If you made the armhole bigger when you were making the vest in the previous part of the tutorial, you'll end up with more than 12 stitches. Just make sure to follow the same pattern of single crocheting into each of the skipped stitches at the top, then single crochet into the first stitch on the other side, then into all the chains at the bottom, and then into the next stitch on the other side. Now to begin the next row, I'm going to single crochet into the first stitch of the previous row. So I'm going to single crochet into the chain I made that counted as the first stitch. I'm going to begin every row this way and work in a spiral. If you like, you could make basic sleeves, like I did for my doll's jacket, by continuing to add rows of single crochet until the sleeves reach the length that you want. For the sleeves I made for the basic doll, I continued to single crochet for 9 more rows. And for the realistic doll, I continued to single crochet for 15 more rows. Or if you like, you could make the sleeves more wide or more narrow. To make wider sleeves, add 1 or 2 increases to every third row of single crochet depending on how wide you want the sleeves to be. To make narrower sleeves, instead of increasing, create 1 or 2 decreases every third row of single crochet instead. If you want to make the sleeves even wider or narrower, just add more increases or decreases, or add fewer rows of plain single crochet in between rows of increase or decrease. Once the sleeve reaches a width you like, you can just keep adding rows of single crochet until they reach the length that you want. Once the sleeves reach the right length, slip stitch into each stitch of the row to finish the edge. Then slip stitch into the first stitch of the row, cut off the yarn and sew in the ends. And then I'm going to do the same thing to create another sleeve on the other side. And now my doll's jackets are all done. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, give it a like and share it on social media. If you want to see more basic doll tutorials, you can find a playlist at the end of this video, or check in the description below. If you want to help support me in making new videos, donate to my Patreon. It's entirely optional, but if you do, you can get some perks like having access to my videos a week before they're posted here on YouTube. You can find more information about that in the description below. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, subscribe to my channel and I'll see you all next time. Bye!